The skies of Eridani IV burned crimson as the Vok Dominion descended. The colony had been a jewel of human expansion. Verdant forests, sprawling research cities, children playing under twin suns. It was peaceful, prosperous, defended by little more than a handful of orbital sentinels and a faith that treaties still mattered. The Vok came not for resources, not for conquest, but for demonstration. Admiral Krith of the Vok Dominion had ordered the attack himself, his voice laced with contempt as he broadcast across open channels. Let the lesser species witness what becomes of those who claim parity with the Dominion. From orbit, Vok plasma lances tore through the planet's defense satellites. The skies above Eridani City shimmered blue for a heartbeat, before the atmospheric shields collapsed. A moment later, the capital vanished beneath oceans of molten glass. The colony's pleas for aid, distorted, fragmented, reached the stars. Mayday, Eridani under attack, civilians, then nothing but static. When the smoke cleared, 3 million souls had perished. The Dominion fleet hovered above the ashen sphere, their hulls gleaming with reflected firelight. On their command ship, the Vokar's Pride, Krith observed the ruin below and smiled. Victory, he murmured. The humans are stubborn, but even vermin learn fear. The fleet turned toward the void, leaving the shattered world behind, a warning, they said, to others who might forget their place. They did not see the signal that escaped the system. A faint pulse from the wreckage of a shattered satellite. Simple, encrypted, human. It contained 2 words. They're coming. The mockery of the strong weeks passed. The Dominion celebrated. Their propaganda waves rippled through 1,000 systems, proclaiming triumph over Terran arrogance. The Vok High Council paraded the footage of Eridani IV's destruction as a symbol of dominance. The younger castes cheered in the streets. The elder strategists nodded with approval. The humans will protest, they said, but they won't act. They are traitors, talkers, diplomats. They will send envoys, not warships. Admiral Krith agreed. He had studied humanity, or so he thought. They are predictable, bound by laws, by morality. Their Earth Council will demand justice, and when we refuse, they will weep, but they will not fight. He was half right. The humans did demand justice. The United Terran Directorate called for reparations, for trial, for acknowledgement of the massacre. The Vok Council laughed and muted the transmission halfway through. Peace is forged through strength, they declared, and humanity has none. Diplomatic channels went silent. Trade halted, then came an uneasy calm. Weeks became months. No retaliation, no fleets, no words. The galaxy began to whisper that Earth had finally learned humility, that perhaps at last the humans would accept their place below the elder races. The Dominion grew bolder. They annexed fringe systems, seized mining colonies, enslaved outposts. Each act was a spark thrown into dry grass. Still, humanity remained silent. Admiral Krith dismissed it as fear. They are cowards, he told his officers. They hide behind their colonies because they have no teeth. But on the 3rd month after Eridani IV, a quiet message slipped through the black. It came from deep within Terran space, a frequency encoded in the ancient binary tongue of Earth's militaries. Every listening post that received it recorded a single transmission before burning out. Operation Cinderpath confirmed. Full authorization granted. The silence before the storm, the Vok Dominion, didn't notice the missing ships at first. A freighter convoy gone dark near the rim. A listening station offline. Small things. Coincidences. Then the patrol fleets began vanishing. Entire armadas blinked from existence without distress calls, without wreckage. Rumors spread through the Dominion Navy. Phantom contacts, false sensor echoes, unexplained gravitational distortions. The Vok dismissed them as errors. Until one day, a Dominion relay hub received an automated transmission on a human frequency. It contained a simple holographic image. A Terran flag. Burning. Scarred but still standing, and beneath it, a single sentence. We remember Eridani. Then came the static. And then, silence again. The Vok High Council demanded answers. Their spies found nothing. No troop movements, no fleet buildup. Even their most advanced sensors detected no mobilization from Earth or any of its colonies. And yet, something was moving. Unseen engines ignited in the dark between stars. Fleets long hidden in the void awoke from slumber. The Silent Vanguard, a Black Ops Terran armada rumored to have been disbanded decades ago, reactivated its coordinates. The dreadnought TDS Judgment of Sol emerged from the asteroid fields near Proxima, her hull plated with adaptive carbon armor that swallowed light, Around her, cruisers, carriers, and orbital strike vessels fell into formation. Thousands of ships, their identifiers erased, their weapons primed. Humanity had been quiet not from fear, but from preparation. For every child buried on Eridani IV, a missile was loaded. For every city burned, a warship armed. The storm had been building in silence. Now, it was ready to break. When Earth spoke again, the first sign came at Volk Outpost K-27, orbiting the gas giant Vorth. The station's crew detected a gravitational anomaly, no larger than a moon, approaching at impossible speed. Before they could react, the void tore open. Human ships poured through like fire through paper, thousands of them, sleek, silent, burning with blue plasma trails. Before the Volk could raise shields, the outpost was already ash. The humans didn't broadcast warnings. They didn't demand surrender. They simply struck and moved on. Every Vok world along the border went dark in a single night. Orbital docks shattered, communication hubs silenced, fleet bases turned into expanding fields of molten metal. The Dominion scrambled its armadas, deploying over 1,000 ships to intercept. They never arrived. The Terrans were already behind them. A single human transmission was intercepted during the chaos. The voice was calm, almost serene. For every life you took, we take a world. You wanted victory. You'll have it, in ashes. Then the Terran signal cut to white noise, followed by the detonation of 3 Volk moons, cracked open by kinetic bombardment rounds traveling at fractions of light speed. The Dominion panicked. Systems burned. Fleets disintegrated. Their proud admirals who once mocked humanity now screamed for mercy across open channels. No reply ever came, only silence. And fire. The Armada of Sol. When the Terran Armada reached the Vok home sector, the stars themselves seemed to dim. Hundreds of dreadnoughts formed an iron ring around the Dominion's core worlds. From orbit, their weapons hummed, solar lances, rail cannons the length of cities, antimatter torpedoes glowing like captured suns. The Vok homeworld's defense grid activated, its planetary shields shimmering like a translucent dome. Within the capital citadel, Admiral Krith stood before his command window, watching the human fleet eclipse the horizon. "They came," he whispered. "They actually came." For the first time in his life, he understood what fear truly felt like. A voice echoed through every Vok comm channel simultaneously. Calm, human, merciless. "Admiral Krith, you burned Eridani IV. You called it victory. We call it murder. This is your consequence," Krith snarled, slamming his claws on the console. "You think you can destroy us? The Dominion has stood for 10,000 years," the voice interrupted. "And it ends tonight." The Terran Armada fired. From orbit, beams of white-hot energy speared downward, piercing shields like mist. The atmosphere ignited, oceans boiled, cities vaporized. The Vok homeworld, pride of a millennium, became a grave of glass and light. As the planet cracked apart, Admiral Krith's last sight was of his fleet, burning one by one in the upper atmosphere, their engines flaring like falling stars. He whispered one final word: ashes. The end of Dominion in 3 weeks. The Vok Dominion ceased to exist. Every colony, every shipyard, every fortress, gone. Humanity did not occupy, did not enslave. They simply erased, methodically, efficiently, relentlessly. When it was over, the Terran Armada withdrew in silence. Not a single message of triumph. No gloating, no celebration. Only the quiet departure of ships fading into the dark from which they came. The galaxy trembled. Species that once mocked Earth sent hurried envoys, swearing friendship. Treaties were rewritten overnight. Even the most warlike civilizations avoided Terran borders, as though they were the edge of a black hole. In the void where the Dominion had been, the stars shone unobstructed, cold, clean, eternal. Among the drifting ruins of a shattered world, a single Terran probe lingered, broadcasting a repeating signal in every major galactic tongue. This was not conquest. This was correction. Do not mistake our silence for weakness again. And then, like everything else that belonged to humanity's vengeance, it vanished into the dark. The lesson of fire generations later, children of a dozen species would whisper the story in fear. The Eridani massacre, the wrath of Earth, the Ashen War. Some said the humans had unleashed weapons beyond comprehension, machines that devoured stars, fleets that bent space-time itself. Others claimed they had struck bargains with death itself, trading their mercy for power. But the truth was simpler and far more terrifying. Humanity had not changed. They had not become monsters. They had simply remembered. For centuries, they had sought peace, traded fairly, honored treaties, built civilizations that spanned galaxies. But when pushed beyond mercy, when the innocent were slaughtered and the arrogant declared victory, they revealed what they had always been: survivors, builders, avengers, fire in the void.